Um, just a little mistake at the beginning. I said Naruto. What if Naruto was the same age as Itachi? It is actually meant to be what if Naruto was neglected part three or finale, and we'll get straight into it. We'll roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is What If Naruto Was Itachi's Age Part 3. We begin this way with the 2 years and a half training for everyone in the village. Well, mostly Sasuke, Itachi, Tsuki, Kakashi, and of course the other minor characters, for example, Sakura, Menma. Well, these are all major characters, but Menma and Mito, of course, training. And anyways, Naruto would have done a lot of missions and made a name for himself. Naruto Uzumaki, the the Blonde Death. And anyways, people actually know that Naruto doesn't kill, but whenever he's there, he feels that you're dead, and whenever he's there, he allows you to live unless you're trying to kill. Well, how can I put this? Naruto doesn't kill, but he pretty much destroys his opponent to an extent when he feels like they are being killed over and over again, but in reality, Naruto's not even trying. Anyways, now, of course, Naruto would then actually continue his missions with the Akatsuki, and the Akatsuki still doesn't know that Naruto is just infiltrating them and giving their information to the third Hokage and Danzo, who are already making a plan to, well, actually, you know, help Naruto out. And anyways, of course, this isn't Naruto's true plan. Naruto's true plan is something different. He wants to become the most powerful person ever. So every single nation has to, well, come together and, fight him one-on-one. Not one-on-one, but all together. So no one would actually get annihilated. And anywho, now, of course, during this time, Sasuke would unlock his Mangekyo through hard training, literally, and he's quite strong. And anywho, now, Naruto would actually start losing some of his vision already, and that's why he stopped completely using his Sharingan and not relying on it at all. And he's just been doing everything from his own jutsus, and he's been learning a lot of things from every Akatsuki member. For example, he's learned a lot from Pain, he's learned a lot from Conan, and anywho, especially Kisame, who's taught him some more stuff about the sword, which actually came in to be quite helpful. And anyways, now, of course, Obito wouldn't suspect Naruto yet. And anyways, now, of course, the 2.5 years pass, and the Akatsuki begins their mission, and of course, Gaara is their first target. And here, the Menma and Team 7 is basically deployed to go help the Sand Village. And once they find out that there was another member in there were two people who actually attacked the Sand, and Kankuro never really got to them, so he was never poisoned, and they were just going for Gaara at this point. And then now, Naruto doesn't want to kill Gaara, and that's why he's actually, well, at this moment in time, he actually was taking his break, as he was allowed one week off. But during this week, of course, the Akatsuki would still begin their missions, and that the only reason he got that 1 week off is because Naruto did a lot of work for the Akatsuki during the past 2 years and a half, and so it was just deserved. And anyways, Naruto did this on purpose because he knew exactly when he wanted his break, so he could actually, well, take advantage of it. And anyways, now they don't know if Naruto is part of this mission, and if he attacked the Sand as well. And anyways, now, of course, once they actually arrive, Gaara is already dead, and well, that's what they think. But right before Gaara's full tail beast was sealed away, Naruto would actually come in, as Naruto wouldn't be actually sealing away. They don't know where Naruto is, but Naruto would disturb them, and at first Deidara and Sasori were confused on who broke in, and they saw nothing, literally no one there, and they were confused, but still it stopped their ritual. And anyways, now as he did that, of course, the Leaf Shinobi would arrive, and Naruto would just be in the shadows watching what would pursue then. And anyway, now a fight would ensue. Sorry, not pursue, ensue, and of course, the Leaf has the upper hand here, as they're much more powerful than the two Akatsuki members here, and Kakashi is quite strong. Also, Tsuki has come here as she wanted to go, and she was allowed to by the full Hokage. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto wasn't there, but the two Akatsuki members were actually killed here. And Chio would actually still join them in the end, as they still went to the cloud, as of course, I think they needed to understand what happened. And anyways, now, of course, it would take much less time, as here they didn't actually have to heal Kankuro. And anyways, now, of course, Chio would actually join them, as she had her suspicions of her grandson being in the Akatsuki. And anyways, of course, Team 7, Chio and Sasori would fight, and here Chio would ask Sasori to return, and Sasori says it's too late. He's a rogue ninja. He'll just be executed once he returns. And at that moment, of course, Chio says that, Temari, who was actually with them, as Temari was there this time, she would actually explain that if he was to change now, he could be still allowed, as Gaara is of course, Gaara is now the Kazekage. Yes, he actually became the Kazekage, as his father believed that he was worthy enough and he was strong enough, and he was way stronger than him now, because he's actually been training quite a lot. But of course, although him being stronger than in the original would still lead to him being defeated, as of course his father wasn't in the village at the time of the attack, and he's actually still returning as fast as possible. But anyways, now Sasori would be forgiven, and anyways, now of course Deidara wouldn't, because Deidara didn't want to change over. And in the end, he got killed. And then now Naruto smiled, and he went off on his own. But the Akatsuki was quite angry, and Naruto, once he returned, he heard about everything, and he acted clueless about it. He's like, what the hell? So Sasori betrayed us, and blah blah blah. And anywho, now of course Naruto is actually the one who stopped this and made this mess, but no one actually knew about it. And anyways, now the one who's mostly pissed would be Obito, but anyways, he wouldn't show it, as he's actually acting as Toby here. And anywho, now Naruto would actually go with Kisame to actually get the full tails, as the other tail beasts, like the two-tailed Yukito, would be captured. But here, Naruto, of course, sent his own blood clone to actually take care of this. But he actually transformed into a Leaf Shinobi before doing so, and he transformed into none other than Itachi Uchiha. And anywho, now, of course, once Itachi actually came into the cave and saw both Kakuzu and Hidan, of course, the two thought that the Leaf is actually after them, as they lost their nine tails to them. And anyways, now of course they were laughing at him that Naruto wasn't there. But anyways, now Naruto would actually in Itachi's transformation, or as transformed as Itachi, he would stop the ritual right before the full tail beast would be taken away, and he would break in, and the ritual would be stopped, as the two Akatsuki members would have to fight Naruto now. And Naruto's quite strong. He's way stronger than these two, easily defeats them, and the two actually die. And of course, Zetsu goes and sees what just happened, and he sees that it was just a mess. Kakuzu and Hidan were dead. And Hidan couldn't be dead, but he couldn't find Hidan's body anywhere. And in fact, Naruto took it, and Hidan said, "I will find a way out." And as he says that, Naruto actually stabs him with multiple times with kunais and impales his head, and pretty much buries him underground, just like Thing did Shikamaru. as this was all happening, the Leaf Village was in quite a mess, as they realized that the Akatsuki now has captured Two-Tailed Beast. This was a few days later, and it was now known by most of the shinobi villages that the Akatsuki has captured the Two-Tails, but most of the Two-Tails, and they don't understand why they're not capturing the whole thing, but they need to still be careful, as most of the tail beasts have been most of the tail beast chakra has been sealed away somewhere, and anyways, or taken away. Anyways, now, of course, everyone was quite worried about this, but nothing could be done about it right now. And anywho, now the Three Tails was actually captured by, it was actually captured by Naruto and Kisame, and here, of course, Naruto couldn't really do much about anything to Kisame, as Naruto couldn't just attack Kisame randomly, but he did make a plan up as the ritual was going on. Of course, again, one of his clones would break into the Akatsuki hideout, and pretty much, as the clone would actually not be Naruto, it would be a clone of once again Itachi. Of course, Itachi. Naruto would actually attack Kisame, and Kisame would fight, and Naruto would join into the fight. But then, as the two were fighting, the clone of Naruto, the clone of Naruto who was actually transformed as Itachi, Naruto actually backstabs Kisame, and Kisame was quite surprised, and he added 1+1, and Naruto was behind this all along, and he curses Naruto right before he dies, and Naruto pretty much kills him in one, pretty easy. For Sengan, and anywho, now, although the Akatsuki has just lost 5 of its members, one of the strongest members remains, and Naruto was questioned on how he survived, and Naruto says that he actually escaped, and during the last little bit of Kisame's life, Kisame did actually cut Naruto right in the cheek, and he left quite a big scar, a bit like Barduk's scar, and anyways, now, of course, the scar was more than enough, evidence that Naruto didn't have anything to do with the attack, and he was actually lucky enough to escape. And they actually believe that Itachi Uchiha is strong enough to actually do this, as of course he is actually one of the strongest shinobi in the Leaf Village, as of course Obito knows, and he's quite confused on how Itachi is able to always find them, but he just he assumes that he's been keeping tabs, or he has some people always on or near the Jinchurikis. But anyways, the next Jinchuriki would be the Four Tails, which would have been captured by Itachi and Kisame, and so Naruto has to go alone. And now, of course, Obito would actually be supervising Naruto, and Naruto knew about this all along. And anywho, now, of course, Obito or Tobi would go with Naruto to capture the Four Tails, and once they did, Naruto knew perfectly that, of course, he couldn't really backstab Obito here, and Obito wouldn't be able to die or anything, and he is in a predicament. In fact, even I had a hard time finding out how to do this. But anyways, now, Obito of course has his little suspicions about Naruto, but he needs to just confirm them. And anyways, now, of course, as the Four Tails was being sealed away, right before it was sealed away, of course, Naruto actually sent a letter to Tsuki in saying that Itachi, she has to come and attack this place with Itachi and Shisui Uchiha. Of course, all three of them would listen to Naruto, and they would see Naruto. Of course, they wouldn't, and Naruto said to not act like they're friends or anything, and to act like enemies. And of course, they listen to him, and because they actually trust him and everything. But anyways, now, of course, once they attack, Obito realizes that Naruto had nothing to do with this. Well, that's what he thinks. But anyways, now, Naruto and Obito would actually escape with just saying Naruto would actually write to them and say that, yo, you guys need to try to attack me and hurt me. I won't try hard enough for you guys not to even hurt me, but of course, you guys need to do damage to me as well, otherwise I'll be, caught out. Of course, Naruto took quite a lot of damage, especially from Tsuki, as Tsuki was taking on Naruto on her own. And anyways, now Obito and Naruto would escape. Of course, Tobi in this case. But anyways, Obito and Naruto would escape, and of course, Tobi was well, now that Naruto knows that Tobi is Obito, or well, he's actually an ex-Leaf Shinobi, and he's actually known as Madara. And anyways, Naruto, as he joined the Akatsuki, already knew that Tobi was actually one of the masterminds behind the Akatsuki. But anyways, now, of course, well, Madara is like, God damn, yeah, so it was true. I don't understand how you survived the 2 attacks at this point. But holy shit, those guys are strong. We need to be sure to keep our hideouts more secret now. Of course, now the Akatsuki would go on their way to find the 5 and 6 tails, and we never really saw how they were captured. So I'm not going to really cover their story, and I'm going to just keep making sure that Naruto would be the one to actually go capture them, and Pain wouldn't be capturing any of the tail beasts, as if Pain did it, Naruto would have a much harder fight and he could not be holding back. And anyways, now, of course, most of the missions were done by him, and well, since there are only a few Akatsuki members remaining, which are him, it's Naruto, Obito, Conan, and Zetsu, if you want to count him, and also Pain and Obito. So Naruto, Conan, Pain, Obito. So there's 4 of them remaining, and anyways, now all the tail beasts would be done like that, and eventually it come to Naruto's turn. Of course, Naruto would have to be captured, but here is where the things change. Of course, now Naruto would have to give himself up, and he does not do it. Naruto then actually, on the day that, of course, the Akatsuki was going to, seal Naruto away, of course, they were all looking at Naruto, and Naruto starts laughing maniacally and telling them that it's all over, and he starts actually, revealing to them everything that he's done. Obito was quite pissed off, but once he tried to attack Naruto, he realized that Naruto is on a whole different tier of strength, and he's much stronger than the Leaf Shinobi that they fought together. And anyways, he had Sage Mode first of all, so really Pain stood no chance, Nagato stood no chance. And anyways, now Naruto tells them to run, and of course Zetsu would side with Naruto, as he realizes that Naruto is only the best way or best option to take, as clearly he'd be stupid to not take his side and try to revive Kaguya through him. And anyways, now of course Zetsu would try joining Naruto, and Naruto would actually accept, although he clearly knows that Zetsu has something in his head. And anyways, now Naruto would declare the 4th Great Ninja War on everyone. And yes, I know most of the characters that, like Sasuke and them, haven't been really, mentioned yet. But anyways, once the 4th Great Ninja War was announced, it was the whole entire shinobi, all the shinobi came together and they made an alliance. As clearly, Naruto is a real threat. And here, of course, Obito actually changes as Naruto. Zetsu reveals everything to him, as this was all a plan by Madara Uchiha, and clearly he's failed, and so did Madara. Madara also failed, as Madara's plan failed, and so he's going to join forces with Naruto. Of course, Obito felt betrayed, but he realized that he should return to the Leaf Village. After all this time, he does, and Nagato and Conan actually follow him, as clearly it's their best option. And anywho, now, of course, the Leaf Village would take any help, even from ex-Akatsuki members, as clearly Naruto seems like the real threat here. And anyways, Naruto is the true threat, and Tsuki was confused because she was not told about anything of him starting a whole entire war, and she doesn't want to believe that Naruto is like that. And anywho, so doesn't Sasuke, so doesn't anyone pretty much that actually cared for Naruto. Of course, his two real siblings, or Menman, Mito, they all would have grown up by now. Sasuke would have the eternal Mangekyo by now. Tsuki, of course, she has it from her uncle and everything. So does oh, sorry, from her mother, and Shisui has it from his uncle. Remember the stories I told you about. And now, of course, we have Menma, who actually has Sage mode, and he's quite strong with it. He's also, so does Mito. Mito has Sage mode too, but so does Naruto. And anyways, now, of course, the Nine-Tails, the Kushina's Nine-Tails, he wouldn't help at all, as he didn't see why he should help. And even once Kushina tried to fight him, she wasn't strong enough to defeat the Nine-Tails, and so, of course, Killer Bee saved her, as they tried to master the Nine-Tails, the other half of the Nine-Tails, the chakra. But anyways, now Naruto and the Nine-Tails would be talking to each other right before the war started, and just saying, Naruto would have help from Orochimaru here. He would tell everything to Orochimaru, and Orochimaru would see how Naruto's plan is working. And Orochimaru was like an uncle to Naruto. And anyways, of course, Naruto tells Orochimaru that he's trying to act like the villain, and he's going to smile through all the pain, as or laugh through the pain, as he doesn't really want to do this, but he doesn't see any other way. Now, the Shinobi Alliance would kind of be stronger. Although they didn't have Naruto, they had Obito, they had Pain, or Nagato, and who had been healed from his crippling depression. I'm joking, but from his crippling by Tsunade. And also they had Tsuki, Itachi, and of course Sasuke, and Shisui. Shisui could one-shot Naruto, but of course it's a whole different level of Naruto here. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto and the Nine-Tails would actually become friends here, as the Nine-Tails saw that Naruto was actually saving all his siblings, and although he sealed most of it, he actually saved their souls and some of their chakra in their Jinchuriki, and also they would have all the Jinchuriki, even the Nine-Tails, but of course the Nine-Tails one wouldn't help, except for Naruto's one, who would help Naruto. Anyways, of course, now, eventually the war begins, and Orochimaru would do the reanimation jutsu, but this time he wouldn't do it himself, nor would Kabuto. Naruto would learn it himself, yes. Of course, Orochimaru tells Naruto that although he's going to be helping him, he's not actually going to be doing the reanimation jutsu, as he's going to be on the other side, and he's going to act like he got defeated instantly by Naruto. And Naruto says that that's fine, and Naruto has he's a prodigy, remember, and he easily learns it, and he's quite, strong right now. And the Shinobi Alliance, although they have all these strong shinobi, stands really no chance. And you might be wondering, how does Naruto have all the DNA of these ninjas? And Naruto would have them because during his journeys with Kisame, he would secretly send clones out to graves of great shinobis. He wouldn't dig them up, literally. He would actually just take a little bit of sample DNA. Naruto, this could be kind of unethical for Naruto, but he sees that this is the only way, and he sees that this is for the greater good. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto and the war would begin, and midway the war, of course, the Shinobi Alliance would be at a massive disadvantage, as Naruto hasn't shown himself yet, and of course, the reanimations were quite hard to deal with in the first place. And anyways, now, out of nowhere, it's been 4 days that they've been fighting the war, and Naruto still hasn't shown himself. And Obito and the Akatsuki, all the Akatsuki members who are now Leaf Shinobi now, yes, they've been getting quite pissed off that, because they kind of wanted their revenge. And Obito is actually forgiven for the attack on the Leaf all those years ago. But anyways, now, we won't mention that too much. And anywho, of course, they have much bigger threats to deal with, like Naruto. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto would actually let the reanimation jutsu go, and pretty much would appear out of nowhere while everyone was fighting. Most of the reanimations that were remaining and just disappeared suddenly, and people were thought that someone must have killed the reanimation jutsu caster or something, but in reality Naruto was the one to do it, and he actually comes out from all the paper that the reanimation jutsu left out, and just saying Zetsu would actually aid in Naruto's reanimation jutsu plan, as he would help out with his Zetsu army, and the wood release would be provided by Naruto. Yes, Naruto has wood release. I did say that I will show how strong Naruto has gone over the next few parts, and this is one of the things Naruto has learned. And anywho, now of course Naruto would now appear, and he would say that it's over for them. If they're not strong enough to defeat him here, they will die, and he will pretty much conquer the world after killing all of the shinobi here, as this is most of the shinobis in the world. And anyways, now the five Kage would appear. Minato, the Raikage. Here it would still be the older what's it called? It would still be Yagura, as Mei, although she is quite strong, she's not the Mizukage here yet, as she's the next in line. But anyways, now she would still be fighting. Of course, Tsunade, the Jiraiya, Orochimaru, the Three Legendary Sunny, everyone's fighting at this point. Gaara, and of course Choza, not Choza, sorry, Gaara's father, I forgot his name, and let me quickly search up. Sorry, it was Rasa. Everyone fights Naruto, and clearly they really stood no chance up until the new generation came in, and of course that includes Itachi's generation, and all of them started fighting too. As they were recovering, they went straight away in the fight, as they actually fought the reanimations mostly. And anyways, now of course Sasuke would actually ask Naruto why he's doing this. He was like an older brother to him. Like, it doesn't make sense. Naruto's not the type of guy. And so, of course, Naruto starts laughing. Of course, underneath his mask, yes, he's wearing a mask here. He's actually crying while saying this. He's there, Sasuke, I've always been using you. This was my plan all along. It's really not too much to think about. Well, it's really not that hard to think about. I've always been using all of you for my own gain. I've gotten stronger, and now I'm getting revenge for everything. For all the pain I've suffered. Now, you die. Of course, he was about to attack Sasuke with his Kurama avatar. Yes, of course, he has a Kurama. And anyways, now, as he was about to do that, 8 different tailed beast bombs actually fire off at him. And that's all the tailed beast, Jinchurikis. And anyways, of course, Naruto wasn't expecting this, and he got hit by this. And then there were 3 perfect Susanos attacking Naruto at the same time. Those were Tsuki, Itachi, and Shisui. And then Sasuke joins in too. And anyways, now all of them asked Naruto why, and Naruto, of course, as he was fighting all of them, he realizes that he's being pushed back, and so he actually starts using the Gedomazu. Of course, he can't really summon it, but what he has done is sent his own clone, his clone with Zetsu on it. Yes, Zetsu himself. He sent it to, Mr. I'm joking, but he sent it to Nagato, and Nagato was confused on what just happened. One of his eyes was missing, and it was hurting quite a lot. And Obito was fighting too. And anyways, now Obito would use his Kamui, and so would Kakashi. Together, they would actually be quite strong. And anyways, now, although they couldn't really do much about Naruto at this point, as he's way too strong with Kurama and everything. And anyway, now, of course, Naruto, who now has gotten his Gedomazu out, he actually absorbs the chakra, and he was actually about to let out the tentacles himself, but he makes sure that he doesn't, and most of the chakra is released from the Gedomazu, which confuses Zetsu on why he's done that. And Naruto says, "You shut up. I don't like you." And anyways, of course, he kills Zetsu. Well, he doesn't really kill him, but he seals him away with the sealing technique that he has. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto knew exactly that Zetsu was a threat. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto, who was fighting the whole entire Shinobi Alliance at this point, would be in quite the predicament, as he was losing, and that was actually Naruto's whole plan. And of course, eventually, the Shinobi were actually getting the upper hand against Naruto. And as this was happening, of course, the two siblings or Naruto's real siblings, or Menma and Mito, would appear, and they would actually do a sibling Rasengan to actually hit hit Naruto out of the Kurama avatar, and Naruto was actually hit out of it, and Naruto was getting quite tired. Although he's been fighting, he hasn't been fighting as long as most of the shinobi there. He's still quite tired as he's fighting all of them at the same time. And anywho, now the amount of chakra he exerted is immense. And anyways, now of course the clone that had the Naruto that had the Rinnegan, of course, he would actually pull it out and throw it back to Nagato. Nagato would catch it, and I know that's kind of grim, but anyways, now it was kind of confusing on why Naruto did it, but then Tsuki added 1+1. Naruto did once say if he becomes the villain of everyone and everyone tries to fight him, and they would align together to defeat him. And of course, Tsuki realizes this, and she actually attacks Naruto in her own Susanoo, and she brings him in. Of course, everyone saw this, but Tsuki flies away as people thought that Tsuki was going to kill him on her own, and but in reality, she was actually flying away, not away, but up. And as she was flying up, she actually asks Naruto, like, is he really doing this? And Naruto actually was just sitting down and, listening to Tsuki. And Naruto then actually replies by saying, it was the only way out, to be honest. I don't really see any other way to bring peace upon this world. Of course, Tsuki slaps him and says there are other ways. You know there are others. But you still decided to go the reckless way. Why? Just why, Naruto? Naruto then says, I really don't know. I just wanted to make my dream come true. I know it's quite selfish. And of course, she says that it is really selfish, as, it's going to hurt a lot of people, especially Sasuke. He's quite hurt by this. And anyways, Naruto then says that he's sorry for it. And he actually lets go of all the tail beast chakra that was inside of him. Although he's now able to use all the tail beast chakra natures. He still tells Tsuki to just kill him, and Tsuki does what Naruto has told her, of course, with tears in her eyes, telling him that she doesn't really want to. But Naruto says, I know you don't want to, but I need you to do it. And anyways, as Naruto was stabbed in the chest, of course, Tsuki takes his body back down, and she's crying while she's holding Naruto. Of course, everyone's confused on why she's crying, but then she says, do you not get it by now? Naruto was doing all this to bring us together, to bring the shinobi together, as we always were in conflict. Do you not see that now there's peace? After all of this, do you really think we're all going to go back into conflict? We all owe each other our lives, and it's all thanks to him. She looks at Naruto's dead body in her arms. But then, now we skip to Naruto. Of course, Naruto, who was in his own mindscape with the Nine Tails, of course, he was about to say goodbye to his friend Kurama. But then the Sage of Six Paths appears. He tells Naruto that he wasn't really sure that if this would happen, but I guess it did. And now I'll be speaking on the behalf of the Sage of Six Paths because he told me to speak with him. But anyway, Naruto Uzumaki. I never thought that this would actually happen, but both my sons have chosen you as a vessel. Anyways, I guess you are truly an amazing person. You stopped the revival of my mother, and you united all the shinobi together. Just look at this. They're all happy, congratulating themselves. Whereas now, you have made some people sad. For example, your close friends, your loved ones. Naruto does say that he has, but it was for the greater good, right? The Sage of Six Paths says yes, it was. However, there are other things that he could have done. There are other ways he could have went around it. And he wants to give Naruto a second chance. He wants to give Naruto a chance in life to continue his life and have the life that he always wanted. A peaceful life with no conflict. Naruto was taken aback in the Hokage, it's not the Hokage. Hagoromo says, I know it might be a lot to process, but I want to give you a second chance in life, as you've done a lot of the work that I couldn't have done myself. I've let down my sons, And now my sons chose you, both of them. They thought that you were the perfect vessel, one who goes through pain, one who always smiles, and one who smiles through the pain. You are Naruto Uzumaki, the reincarnation of both Indra and Ashura. Anyways, Naruto feels his life coming back to him. Instead of him disappearing, he is regaining his strength, and he's asking why he would do this, and isn't this like supernatural? And the Sage of Success actually continues by saying, me being in this world is supernatural as it is, so I wouldn't say that this is too bad. Anyways, I hope you have a good life, Naruto Uzumaki. From the behalf of both my sons and myself, I really hope you do. Of course, the Nine Tails actually puts his paw or puts a finger on top of Naruto's head and says, "You did it, kid. You now even have a second chance from my own father." And Naruto actually smiles at the Nine Tails and, of course, gives him that believe it look. And of course, he even says, "Believe it." And anyways, now, of course, the Nine Tails smiles as well. And anywho, now, of course, as Tsuki laid Naruto's body down, Naruto actually regained consciousness as his wound healed. And, of course, right before the Sage of Success went, of course, Naruto now has both seals on his hand and he's confused on what they are. But anyways, now, of course, now we go onto Naruto actually waking up, and he's confused, and he sees everyone looking at him, and Tsuki just hugs him on the floor. Sasuke actually joins in too, so does Shisu and Itachi and his two siblings, and Naruto smiling at them and says that he's sorry for all of this, and he's actually apologizes for to both Obito and Obito, Conan, and sorry, Nagato, because he betrayed them, and they all are confused on why he's saying sorry. Like, he created the peace that everyone wanted, and he even saved them from a miserable death, as Obito was planning to kill Nagato, but they've gone over that and they've gotten over it as well, and now they're pretty good friends and they're war buddies now. Of course, Naruto then says, "I've caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I've killed a lot of people too, like Kisame, all the most of the people in the Akatsuki. He's been the one killing them, as he's always been faking it. Of course, everyone already knew that, but they thank Naruto for the peace that he's created. And of course, Tsuki looks at him and asks if he still remembers their promise, and Naruto says of course he does. And anyways, now we have a time skip of a few years, a few years. Of course, the last thing still happens, and here I'll say that Hinata and Menma get together, but of course Menma doesn't fight. Menma does fight Tonari, but also Naruto does, and Naruto does most of the work with this KCM. And anywho, now, of course, the other side of the Nine Tails actually wants to return to wants to go to Naruto, and Naruto is able to actually just absorb the Nine Tails without actually killing Kushina, and don't ask why. It's called plot armor. And anyways, now, of course, another few years pass and Boruto is born, but this time he actually does, he still has blonde hair as he got it from Naruto. And anyways, now, anyway, of course, then Himawari is born, and they still call them the same. I'm not gonna change anything in that. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please stay safe. This was again Weebs and peace.